Hello sports fans and welcome back to the channel. We're about to start our first ever half marathon race at the Liverpool Half Marathon, and this is one of the most humbling races I have ever done. You don't want to miss this. So the goal today is we're trying to get as close to, or if not under, the 1 hour 30 mark. So we've done the most sensible thing I can possibly think of, and I've plonked myself as close as I can to the 1 hour 30 paces. You can just see that green and white sign bobbing up and down over to the left. And it is absolutely heaving at the start line of this race. There's about 12,000 people running, I think, and it's absolute carnage at the start. So we've just crossed the start line there as we just head off out into the city. And I just want to apologise for the slightly dodgy camera angle that I've currently got. It's a lovely view of the buildings and people's heads bobbing up and down, but this does get better as the race goes on. So just bear with me for the first sort of few minutes of this video. And already I'm struggling to see where the 1 hour 30 paces are. I think they're just a little bit ahead of me. At the moment, I'm just trying not to trip people up, and I'm trying not to get tripped up myself. So for a sub 1 hour 30, the race pace calculator online says that I need a 4 minute 16 average kilometer over the 21.1k. But to be on the safe side, I'm going to aim for a 4:15. I know if I go a 4:16 or I average a 4:16, it's going to be very hard to come under 1 hour 30 with the extra distance I'll end up running, weaving in and out of people, stopping for the odd water and all that sort of thing. So to be on the safe side, we're aiming for a 4 hour 15 average split time. So I'll bring the split times up. Unfortunately, the camera only has about 40 minutes of battery. So to preserve camera, I've only filmed at the 5k, 10k, 15k splits. And I'll give a little summary at each of those splits as we go through the race. So just over on the left-hand side of the screen, you can see the 1 hour 30 pacer just bobbing up and down. So I think there's 4 guys who are pacing this. They're all in the orange bibs. So there's 2 over there to the left, and I think there's one just sort of more over to... There's another one over there, I can see a third one. So I can see 3 guys in the orange bibs pacing this, so they're obviously going to take it in turns to hold that sign. But yeah, at the moment, it's just about trying to find a little bit of space. It is very, very busy. Trying not to get tripped up, trying not to be tripped up. And I did have an absolute stonking cold going into this race, and I've still got it now. So if my voice goes during this commentary, that is why. I'm hoping that whatever this cold is, it's not really going to affect this race, but who knows? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. I know it's going to be absolute touch and go as to whether I get this sub 1 hour 30. The training plan that I followed, which I started about 16 weeks ago, has given me a race predictor finish time between 1 hour 27 and 1 hour 32. The 1 hour 27 is just going to be way too punchy for me. I've tried sort of that pace, which is around a 4 minute 10 pace in training, and it was just a little bit too punchy. There's just no way I'm going to get to close to the 127. I think a 132, I'm confident I'll go sub 132. But yeah, 1 hour 30. To be honest, I'm going to be around the 1 hour 30. It could be a 129 something or a 130 something, but we will find out. So we've just gone through the first kilometre, and it's a 4 minute 16 split, so we're absolutely bang on the money. 1 second over our target time of 4 minutes 15. So the first 3 kilometres of this race have a 50 metre elevation gain. So although I'm trying to stick with the 1 hour 30 paces, and that is going to be the strategy for this, I don't want to go up that 50 metres of elevation too quickly, because I know it's just going to absolutely shaft me, and I'll really be hitting the wall sort of later on in the race, and that is the last thing that I want to do. So I want to try and preserve energy. But how I'm going to do that, I do not know, because I also don't want to lose the group and the pack that is surrounding the 1 hour 30s. I want to stay with them. So I think I'm just going to stick with them, to be honest. And if the heart rate starts to spike, I'll just have to drop the pace slightly. Right. We've just done that first sort of 4.5k, and we're just coming up to the 3 mile mark. And I'm very happy with the current time, but look at that heart rate. We're already into the 180 beats per minute, and there's the 3 mile mark. So I'll just get the 5k split up in a second, but we are literally at a high heart rate. My max heart rate's about 190, and we're already in the 183s. So I seriously struggled going up those hills to begin with, and that's the first 5k. So the first 5k we've done in 21 minutes 27, so we're 7 seconds over what the 5k split time should be. So we're pretty much there or thereabouts, or pretty close to the time that I need to be. I need to make up 7 seconds over the next 16 kilometers, and that is so doable. The trouble is, my heart rate is a little bit too high. I say a little bit, it is way too high. It's 181 beats per minute. My max heart rate's 190, so we are well within that threshold, zone 5. And I know I can only really sit in this for about an hour and 10 minutes. So we are just going to have to see how we get on. Hopefully that heart rate will start to drop, but it is still going up, and we're currently on a downslope now. I don't know whether it's because I've still got this cold that I'm trying to shake off as to why my heart rate's spiking so much, but oh yeah, 185 beats per minute. This isn't good. The pace is around a 4:20. We're still with the 1 hour 30 paces. There's a guy in a bib there, just in front of that guy in the grey top, and the guy wearing the charity top on the left. They're the paces that I want to stick with. Oh, and I'm just in the top left-hand corner of the screen, I can see the green and white sign bobbing up and down for the paces. And I do actually remember at this point thinking, I'm about 5.5 kilometres into a half marathon. Is it supposed to feel this difficult? I was trying to not look at my watch, because I knew if I started looking at my watch, I'd start overthinking my heart rate. I'd start overthinking the pace that I was going at. So I was just trying to keep my watch away from myself. And just watching this back and looking at the stats back, it wasn't until I realised how much my heart rate was actually spiking. But I do remember thinking, flipping heck, this is hard. Is it meant to feel this hard? I kind of just accepted that that's what it was meant to feel. Right, so we've just jumped forward a little bit. The heart rate's kind of come down a little bit, but it's still way too high. It shouldn't be above the 180s. We kind of want that in the 170s. That's a little bit too high. But we're still plodding along nicely. We're still able to maintain the pace. I think we're enjoying a nice little downslope here. And right here on the right-hand side is where people who are doing the 10-miler are currently turning around. Obviously, we're not. We're doing the full half marathon, 13.1 miles. And this has been an absolute nightmare to commentate on as well, because I've had to keep on pausing the video and pausing the audio, because I keep needing to cough and I keep needing to clear my throat, because the cold that I have got is very much still with me. And I think that's probably why my heart rate was so high at this point. I've tapered into this as well, so I should be feeling absolutely as fit as the butcher's dog, but the opposite is happening, to be honest. I'm feeling pretty rough right now. And you can see it's still absolutely chock-a-block. I'm still trying to not trip anyone up and trying not to get tripped up. But we are right there with the 1 hour 30 paces. And we're just in the middle of Sefton Park now. So we're probably about 9.6 kilometres into this. So I'll get the 10k split up in a few minutes as we go past the centre of Sefton Park. Some bloke on his phone over there, flipping heck. Fair play to him. Maybe he's ordering a taxi to come pick him up because he's had enough. It's not until I watched this video back I realised how nice this route actually is. Jogging through Sefton Park's a lovely route. At the time, I was absolutely dying. And you can see the heart rate is still well within the 180s. It's in zone 5. It's in my absolute threshold zone. There's no way I can hold this for a full hour and a half. So I know at some point the pace is going to give. But remember, I was not looking at my watch during this race. I was just going off effort. And I was just trying to hold on for absolute dear life and stick with this pack that was surrounding the 1 hour 30s. So we've gone through 10 kilometres and it's a 42.25 through the first 10k. So we've actually banked ourselves 15 seconds. So we've got 15 seconds to play with within the next 11.1 kilometres. We're in a really good position, but I know at some point I'm going to have to give, because it is not sustainable at this level of effort. Just need to maintain this pace for another 10.5k. And I think it was at this point I took on my first energy gel. I completely forgot about my nutrition strategy, which was to have one gel at 30 minutes, one gel at around the 50-minute mark, and one gel at around the 1 hour 10 mark. And I'm just trying to get some water, and it's an absolute shocker. I've had to completely stop to pick up that water bottle. It is a nightmare trying to get water on these runs sometimes. He's obviously had a stinker as well because he was asking me for a sip of my water, so I just let him finish off my bottle because I'm such a top bloke. I don't know how many seconds I've lost there, but it's just horrible when you break out of rhythm and have to get back into it after collecting a bottle. So we've just fast forwarded the video a little bit there, and we're just coming up to the 15k mark. And honestly, I was absolutely dying at this point. I was in a world of pain. You know when you get like one of those horrible, nasty stitches? It's not like a stitch if you've eaten too much. It's like a stitch where your heart and lungs are killing, and that's 15k done in 1 hour, 4 minutes and 10 seconds. So we bagged ourselves 15 seconds through the first 10k, but we've now down 11 seconds through the 15k split. So it's going to have to be an absolute all-out send for the final 6k if we want to come in under the 1 hour 30 minutes. We need to make up at least 11 seconds over this 6 kilometres, but I am absolutely spent at this point. You can see that the 1 hour 30 paces, they are nowhere to be seen. I don't even know when I lost them, to be honest. I think it was around like the sort of 12, 13k mark. At the moment, it's just about survival. I'm just trying to get back, and it's so deceptive because you're on this waterfront stretch for a long way, and you kind of think when you get onto this first stretch, you think, oh, I'm not that far now. But you're on this for a good sort of 6 to 7 kilometres, and it is a long old stomp. The paces are absolutely nowhere to be seen, and you can see my pace in the bottom right-hand corner. It's really starting to slow. We've just been in the 440s, even the 450s at one point. The effort at the start of the race where the heart rate was well into the mid-180s, pushing 187, is really starting to take its toll. So that's 20k done, and we've done it in 1 hour 25, 55 seconds. So just doing the quick mental arithmetic, we've got 1,100 metres left to go in this race, and we've got about 4 minutes to get it done. So the final 100 metres with a sprint finish is probably going to take about 20 seconds. That means we need to do this final 1k in probably around the 3-minute 30 pace, which isn't impossible, but given it's the back end of a half marathon, we are absolutely goosed here. It's more than unlikely that that's going to happen. The odds are certainly stacked against us, but what can we muster up? What can we pull together? Let's give it a big finish and see what we can do. Come on, Benny, let's give it one final push. It's the final little bit in a 21.1k race. Let's try and stay with this Kirby Miles Athletics Club bloke. He seems to be going for it. The pace is around a 4-minute flat. It's 15 kilometres an hour. The heart rate's in the 170s. But have we spent too much too soon early on in this race? I think we have. We're still not seeing 330s. We're now into the 350s. There's a 330s, but is it too little too late? We're into the 320s. The pace is starting to go up again. We're nearly there. Some lady with a pram's also running the race. No, she's not. She's just gone off to the side. Come on, let's get this done. The Kirby Miles Athletics guy has completely disappeared. And there's a guy in an orange top overtaking me as well. I am absolutely spent. There's nothing more I can do here. I think the 1 hour 30 is completely out the window now. There's no way I've maintained a 3:30 pace in that final K, and there is absolutely no way I can give a sprint finish of 20 seconds over the final 100 metres. Although the pace has picked up, we are finishing strong. It's all about getting the best possible time now. The 1 hour 30, I think it's done. Just need to get round this bend, and it's the final stretch. Unbelievable crowd, by the way. There's loads of people here. Come on. Final sprint finish. Can I overtake this guy on the left? I'm absolutely giving it everything now. Nice little double-decker bus there. Do a little open-top bus tour of Liverpool once we're finished. Come on. Let's finish strong. And another guy's just gone past us. I've got absolutely nothing left here. I'm trying to see what that gun time is up there. It's a 1:31:33, but what's the chip time going to say? And the chip times are 1 hour, 30 minutes and 47 seconds. I'm absolutely made up with that. I couldn't have given it any more. That was so difficult. And just look at those splits and look at that heart rate. Well into the 180s early on. Thoroughly enjoyed it though. We'll definitely be doing it again. But I tell you what, running is bloody difficult.